back, ladies and gentlemen, and so am I. It's your boy Icon with Red Eyes Entertainment with some more DC TV. And this time we are reviewing episode 5 of Naomi. This one is entitled The Shadow Ridge. So, we're going camping. And in this episode, this particular episode starts where the gang is going, not the entire gang, because there were some people missing. The nerd wasn't there and the purple haired girl wasn't there. But everyone else, the best friend, the black dude, and the white kid, we're all going camping now. And we're going off to the woods. And, while they were going off to the woods, the Thanagarian, he told Naomi, he was like, oh, this is a chance for you to do your meditation and, for you to be in tune with nature. Naomi's whole thing is, I'm just going up there because I ain't got to deal with this bullshit, like, while I'm up there. So while she's at camp, she, like her and the black dude, like they kissed in the last episode. So the two of them are kind of like dating now, or they're trying to figure it out. But he's not he's into it, but he's also got his guard up at the same time, because the last time the two of them were together, because they were in a relationship before, she broke up with him and she never told him why. Typical. So while they're at the camp, they're sitting there, and one of the camp counselors, she was telling this story about like a ghost that lives in the camp, like very typical stuff, like something that you see every day. And then she mentioned something about like, oh, there was this weird blue light, and then all of a sudden the campers, went crazy or got sick or whatever, or had allergies or something like that. And, the kids were basically just like, oh, it's just some random crazy camp story. Naomi and the black dude end up going off, by themselves in the woods. And while they're talking, he flat out said to her, he was like, listen, he was like, us being together, like kissing or whatever, holding hands, he's like, it's great. But he's like, the last time we did all that shit, you dipped. And I kind of want to know why you dipped. And she wasn't ready to tell him in the moment why she dipped on him. But while the two of them were talking, the white kid showed up, and he was like bleeding from the nose or something, and he was like spinning out of control. And he said that he saw the ghost that the camp counselor was talking about. So right out the gate, we've got another mystery on our hands. It's another mystery to solve. But, and this one was more realistic, because again, like 4 out of the 6 members of the Scooby Gang were present. And I swear, if the other 2 would have randomly popped up, like it would have been the biggest, it would have just been like the biggest like running joke. I would have had a field day with that. But I said, but we didn't get the 2, we only got the 4. So they ended up getting some information from some of the other counselors, and they said that the cabin that the girl the person that's the ghost, the cabin, because they said a camp counselor had died or something. They said that the cabin that counselor used to live in is like right outside from the rest of the cabins. So the 4 of them, they go to the cabin. The whole place reeked of freshly baked cookies, and they bumped into another counselor who basically ended up using that particular cabin to be a baker. They saw an old school camera that was in that person's room, but they took the camera, but they needed a battery in order to power it. So they ended up going to another camp counselor's hut. Because they said that she had like batteries or something stored in her cabin. They got the battery from her, and then when they got the battery from her, they plugged up the camera, and then they watched a video of one of their counselors recording herself in the woods, and then something happened. She started screaming, and then she got rolled up on, and then we saw the blue light. I guess like while Naomi watched the person in action, like when she watched the counselor like freak out, and she saw the blue light on TV, it kind of like affected her emotions. Then her power started wigging out, and then like the light started flickering or whatever. So it's definitely something that's tied into her, but she wants to know why. But then they saw the counselor get chased, by whatever like this demon or like this crazy blue light is. And then at that point, the gang was just like, yo, it's time to call the cops. And the white kid, because he was the one who got affected by it, he didn't want to call the cops. He wanted to investigate further. But then the black dude and the best friend, they was like, nah, like, like we calling the cops. And then Naomi kind of sided with them too. She was just like, yeah, we need to call the proper authorities because we're not equipped to handle this. Obviously she's not telling them that, that she has superpowers, and then, she had a conversation with the white kid, and then he was just like, oh, I know that you and the black guy are together again, and I thought we were in this together, and blah, blah, blah. And then he got mad, and he decided that he was going to go look into it on his own. Naomi was talking to her best friend. She's like, I know you said calling the cops was the right thing to do, but let's be honest, because you are the one with superpowers and you can't turn down a mystery, you actually want to find out what's going on. And then she was just like, yeah, you're right. So she goes down to find out. She bumps into the white kid. They go into another another counselor's cabin, try to like discover and find out some clues. And when they go into the cabin, they find a briefcase that contained like these weird blue crystals. When they opened the briefcase, there were 3 crystals there, and the light, the aura from those 3 crystals started affecting the white kid, and then he started bleeding from the nose again, then he pretty much passed out. And then another counselor came out of nowhere, and then he was just like, oh, you discovered my secret. He was like, oh, these blue crystals seem to affect humans, but they don't affect me, they don't affect people like us, because he's an alien and he knows that she's an alien. So, you know, he started doing like his cackling, like, oh, you know, like, haha, look at your friend, he's dying. And then Naomi blasted him, you know, she used her magic to blast him, which she did right in front of the white kid. And then after she blasted him, then they called the proper authorities and they arrested the dude. I assume the police got their hands on those crystals and turned them over to the military. And then, you know, Naomi asked the white kid, she was like, yo, you good? She was like, do you remember anything that happened? And then he was like, no. So she was like, good, crisis averted. And then, you know, but, you know, he told her, he basically, like, he tried to cock block because he told her that she doesn't deserve to be with the black kid. She deserves to be with him. But I mean, he likes her, so of course he'll say that. Naomi ended up talking to the black kid, you know, because all was well. And then she told him that, you know, she broke up with him because their relationship was getting really serious. And then she was afraid, but she's not afraid anymore. So she's willing to take the leap if he is. And then they kissed, and then that's how the episode ended. On a side mission note, the Thanagarian and the black dude that runs the car garage, the 2 of them kind of clicked up because apparently the 2 of them have like some unspoken agreement that they had. The bounty hunter from the previous episode that tried to kill Naomi has, you know, like, it affects both of them, because the Thanagarian's whole thing was we find out that he's a wanted criminal. He's an escaped criminal from Thanagar. And then we find out that the black dude is actually royalty, because he was just like, oh, isn't coming to a used car lot beneath you, whatever. So the 2 of them ended up clicking up together to stop the bounty hunter, to protect Naomi, and also to protect their secrets. They find the bounty hunter. They're like, you know, like, who hired you? He didn't want to tell them. They knocked him out. You know, like, they took his call sheet. And then now they have the list of all the people that bounty hunter is supposed to go after. Later on, the black dude was the one who actually had the list, and he told the Thanagarian that there was one name on the list that would be of interest to him. And when he said the name, he kind of like reacted to it, because obviously he knows who the person is. And I think the person whose name was on that list was the girl that he was talking to Naomi about, that he loved, that he didn't get a chance to tell her how much he loved her, the girl that he lost. I feel like her name is on that list too, and she's going to show up at some point. Naomi's parents now, they're trying to protect their secrets, because the military is seriously looking into the whole thing. They found the wooden tree stump that lit up when Naomi touches it. Like, they found that, and they found the alien writing. So the general called in Naomi's mom, because she's a specialist in like artifacts and things, and he wanted her to investigate the artifacts in the situation. So now the mom is freaking out, and the dad's freaking out, because they're just like, oh, the military is going to be on to us, and we have to protect our daughter. And then, you know, the dad was like, yo, let's just flee the country. And I'm like, bro, you work for the military, that's not gonna work. So but then the mom, she came up with something where she was able to look into the alien writing, but she wrote it off as something ancient that extends from the past. So she said that this writing is something ancient, but it's not alien. And she did that to kind of throw, you know, the government scent off of her family. And then after that, you know, the general was just like, well, I'm sorry to hear that, you know, but thank you for your time. And then after the parents left, the general had a file on both of Naomi's parents, because I guess like he knows that they're lying, he knows that they're full of shit. So he's going to look into them now and why they tried to lie and cover that whole thing up. So the government will get involved. And this is actually very interesting. So in the next episode, we got a nod from Star Labs. So this girl is definitely on a different Earth, because there is no Caitlin Snow, there is no Cisco Ramon, there is no Barry Allen. Like, Naomi is on a completely different Earth. She has her own Superman, she has her own Star Labs, and it'd be very cool to find out what Earth she's actually on, if and when they do finally tell us. So that was it. And like I said, and thank you for tuning in. So aside from the murder mystery, you know, like the camp murder mystery, like there really wasn't that much going on in the episode. It was more just about like the relationship drama, and then she had like one little brief fight, you know, with the camp counselor dude, you know. So, but that was cool. I just want to see what happens when like her powers kick in more, and we get more in depth of what she's actually doing and why she's actually here. I still feel like the black dude that owns the used car lot, I feel like that's her daddy. But but we'll find out. And thank you for tuning in. So share your questions and your thoughts and your concerns below. Let me know what you think about Naomi so far. How are you enjoying it? What do you think is going on with each individual character? What do you think the storylines are going to go? How the military plays in? What's going to happen when they finally find out her secret? And how all this is going to blow up? And do we get a cameo from Superman? Check me out on Twitter and Instagram, always on YouTube, because we got Superman and Lois that's already on the channel. We got Legends of Tomorrow coming up, and we got Batwoman. Both shows only have 2 episodes left, and then they're over. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So till next time, for some Naomi action, watch out for the shadows. And until then, I'm out this video.